What's up, fam and friends? So today marks our 3-year anniversary.
Woo!
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. We made it 3 years. Big accomplishment. And so we wanted to drop a video of 3 lessons we learned from 3 years of marriage. Hopefully it resonates with you and helps you on your journey for a marriage that glorifies God.
Our first one came from someone who is very special in our lives, and she said, "Don't count the cornflakes."
And what does
What does that mean?
Yeah.
When her kids were little, she would pour a bowl of cornflakes in the morning for breakfast. They would really compare who has more, who she has more than me. No, she has more than me. And she was saying in marriage, don't count any of that. Don't let anything in your marriage, don't keep the score on things in your marriage. It's just not worth it.
I didn't really take that advice to heart the first or second year of marriage
Yeah.
because I was so sacrificial and servant-hearted.
You were.
But then we had a kid and I started counting up everything, and it just created in me a comparison, a bitter heart, because I was like, here's everything I'm doing, here's everything you're not doing, here's all my strengths, here's all your weaknesses, and it just creates this contrasting look.
Your perspective is so skewed in your own mind. So once you start doing that, you are really creating a point of bitterness toward your spouse. You don't even know what's going on in their head or their heart. I mean, I can say this one has been a big one for me this year as well.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this, when one of us starts counting the cornflakes, the other starts counting the cornflakes, and it just spirals out of control. And then I'm not generous. I'm actually taking instead of serving.
I've really had to focus on praying really the past few months. Lord, help me to be a servant to my husband. And it's hard because your baby really does take up so much of your time and energy, and it's part of parenting. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but you really have to protect your marriage still and take care of each other and love each other. And I was really asking the Lord, help me to serve Dustin, help me to want to serve him in a sacrificial way and love him.
If you want your marriage to thrive, don't think about your needs. Think about serving your spouse's needs.
Yeah.
And if they have that same mentality, both your needs get met. But if you're striving for your own needs, everything falls apart real quickly.
Yeah, and we recommend taking the 5 love language test, because if you don't know your needs or your partner doesn't know your needs, then you might be struggling to provide those needs to them.
Lesson number 2 is fostering connection is greater than the fundamentals of conflict. And what I mean by that,
The fundamentals of conflict.
the fundamentals of conflict, is most conflict is resolved on the front end if you have connection in place. Once connection, you have disconnection, conflict arises around every corner. And if you really want to solve the root issue, it's a lady desires emotional security over everything else. And like as a man, I strive for like financial security and providing and protecting and all this stuff, which is well and good. But a lady's core need is emotional security. So if I am intentional about quality time, connection, spending time, one of the biggest things that has helped our marriage in this area is walk and talks. So we put Annie in the stroller and we take a walk in the evenings for a half an hour, and just it gives us time to exercise by walking, decompress, de-stress, but connect.
Obviously, this one's really important to me. It's something that I even ask for, and I just think that it's okay to ask. If you're feeling disconnected from your spouse, don't let that fester in your heart. Really, just voice it. I have voiced it to Dustin recently. Like, babe, can we play a game where we just sit and talk and hang out and do something that doesn't include thinking about what groceries do I need to get or what do I need to change a diaper right now and all these things that are necessary, but I just need a load off my brain and I need you to be my friend right now. I just need your friendship.
I can be like Martha from the Bible, who is so task focused. I forget about people around me, and ultimately Jesus. We need to be like Mary and sit at Jesus's feet, because that's where the fruit of the Spirit comes from, abiding in him. And then at at that point, we can connect with our spouse real well when we slow down and just enjoy the moment.
Number 3, Dustin taught me, and I would say it's not only one of the most important things in marriage, but in relationships in your life in general. Assuming good intent. It means when Dustin puts a plate in the sink instead of the dishwasher, it doesn't mean he did it just because he's lazy or because he wants me to do more work or he wants me to scrape his food off because he didn't put water in the bowl. I just need to assume that he had something going on. He was at work and he had to get back to work really fast. And so the best place the plate could be was in the sink. And I have to assume that he did the right thing by me instead of assuming that he was just trying to make my life harder.
Yeah, we can get to a place of assuming bad intent, which is really when an action that they did hurts me, we assume their intent was to harm me. And that's not the case, because when we do that, it breaks down trust, and trust is the foundation of any relationship. But when we assume good intent, that they did not mean to harm me with this hurtful action, it actually allows trust to remain as we repair this conflict, this relationship, this hurt, to
find understanding
in the moment.
The Bible says to believe the best of every person. And that can be really hard because when you're feeling hurt, you can assume that it was intentional. But I would say most of the time, it's not.
Yeah, like 99% of the time.
Yeah, it's really not.
Most relational conflict was not intentional harm in any way.
And most people who cut you off in traffic are not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
I've only ever met one person who does it on purpose.
So those are 3 tips from our first 3 years of marriage. Hopefully it helps you. Yeah. It really helped us reflecting on this stuff, and we hope you join us on this journey. Love you guys.
Don't include that. Happy anniversary, Dustin.
Happy anniversary, babe. Love you. Love you.